Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to be doing the Blob Art challenge. And if you don't know what that is, you just basically make random blobs on a piece of paper and then turn them into little doodles and little pieces of art. So I am using my water brush pens that I got from wish.com, and I am using my Winsor & Newton Cotman watercolours just to make some random blobs because it's a lot easier to do random shapes with watercolour, and I'm just using some cartridge paper because watercolour paper is expensive. And then for the art itself, I am just using a mechanical pencil to sketch out my ideas, and then my 0.3 Unipin liner, just because this was the first one I could find, no particular reason for 0.3, and also using my Signo Uniball gel pen as well, the white one, just to add some highlights. So the idea of this challenge is really to get your creativity flowing. It's kind of like when you look at clouds in the sky and you think it looks like a certain shape and you say, oh, that cloud looks like an ice cream, and the person you're with says, what are you talking about? I don't see it. It's that kind of thing. It's to get your imagination going, and the pictures don't have to be perfect because they're not going to be exactly like what the things are because they're out of blobs, but they just vaguely look like them, I guess. So for the first one, I decided it looked a little bit like a pig, and I had to use the white gel pen a little bit more than the others here because I smudged the line art because I erased too quickly because I am impatient. So for the second blob, I decided it looked like a bird with its wings spread, but because the blob was quite small in its shape, it had to be quite a derpy looking bird, and I think it looks really cute, and I really like this one. I think it's one of my favorites. It's kind of like a jelly bean, which I think is quite cute. It's like a jelly bean bird, so that's quite cool. And I just really have fun doing this challenge, and I think it's really important to doodle like this sometimes and just kind of get creative with doodling, because you can have some really good ideas and you don't have to do really big fancy finished pieces all the time. There's quite a lot of pressure, especially when you're putting your art on the internet, to do big fancy pieces, but you don't have to do that at all. And it's just really fun to do this, and it gets your ideas flowing, and then it might give you ideas for pieces in the future. So for example, I really like the face of this pig here, and I might develop him into a character later on, and this bird as well. It's quite a cute little jelly bean bird. I think there's some fun to be had there. So for the next one, I decided it looked like a snail, like the big round bit and then the body. I thought it would work quite well. So I did the snail, and he's kind of turning round with some leaves, but it also looks like a sea snail because they look like fins, I realised. But that's okay, it can be whatever it wants to be because this is just a fun doodle challenge. So the thing I like about this challenge is the aesthetic that it kind of gives, because I think it looks quite like children's illustration. They're quite fun little doodles, and also the paint goes outside of the lines because you're doing the line art after you do the paint, and it does give that kind of storybook feel, and it reminds me quite a lot of the work of Quentin Blake. And if you don't know who that is, he's a very famous children's illustrator from, I think he's from the UK, but we have a lot of his books in the UK. He might not be from the UK. I'll look into that. I can't quite remember, but yeah, he's very famous here in the UK anyway, and he illustrated quite a lot of the Roald Dahl books, and he kind of got the watercolor with the ink on top. That was his process. I remember watching some TV shows where he was on as a kid, and I remember watching him do the paint first, the watercolor first, or the inks first, and then draw on top of it. And I think it's quite an effective way because it makes you a lot looser in your lines, and it makes you a lot more creative. So some of these blobs I didn't really like very much. I didn't really like the car one because the wheels just don't look like wheels. They just look like there's something really wrong with the car. But that's okay, it's fine. It's not really, like I said, it's not have to be an excellent, wonderful finished piece. It's just a fun little challenge because I didn't have a lot of time this week because I went out of town last week, and this week it was quite difficult to get a video in. So I thought I can do the blob challenge because that's fun, and I can just sit with some coffee and some Netflix and just doodle away, because that's what art is all about sometimes. And yeah, I didn't like the car because I can't draw circles. It's kind of a theme on this channel. I can't draw circles, and so I didn't really like that. I did quite like the little castle-y floating castle type thing that I did in the middle. I thought that was quite cool. I quite like that, but I don't think the castle was tall enough, but I didn't have quite a lot to play with the blob there. I did extend it a little bit outside of the blob. Not sure if that's cheating. Sorry if it is, but what can you do? I quite like the little elephant idea though. I thought he was cool because the shading in the blob did look like it has a trunk, and it is very much like clouds. Like I said at the beginning, when you're looking at clouds and thinking, oh, that looks like this, and it definitely was true with the elephant. The way that the shading was, it definitely looked like a trunk, so I thought that was really cool. And the orange one, I wasn't quite sure what to do with that one. It looked, to me in my head, it looked like a firebird, but when I put that on paper, it didn't really look like a firebird. It kind of looks like a melty kind of bird, which I guess if it's made out of flames, it would look like that. I thought the concept was good, but I don't think I executed it very well at all. I really like the fish, the last one. I did originally want to do a Charmander, that's why his face looks a little bit Charmander-y, but I didn't actually pull that off very well, so I ended up doing the fin. It's kind of like a curved round fish, if that makes sense. And I also like the sleeping cat. I think the sleeping cat is my favourite, as well as the top three. So some of them I like and some of them I didn't like, but overall I really had fun doing this challenge. It was a nice relaxing evening for me, which is what art is all about. This is what I do for fun after all. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Katie. I make art videos. I do all sorts of challenges, speed paints, discussions, all that kind of thing. And I also have a little mouse character called Charlie, so I'll leave a link to him up above so you can go and check him out. And it is about time I did another Charlie video. He's not been present in videos recently, and I think he's feeling a little bit left out, so I'll bring him back hopefully in the next video. So if you are new, do feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. And if you like this video, you know, emotionally, please do leave it a like down below, as that really does help me out. And also comment down below with any challenges that you would like me to try, any challenges like the Blob challenge, the kind of well-known art challenges, or if you thought of an art challenge that you'd like me to try, do comment down below. I do read all the comments and try to respond to every single one of them. I do love reading your comments, so please do comment with ideas, feedback, all that kind of thing. But do please be nice, because this is a nice friendly channel. So that's all I've really got to say for this video, so I'm just going to leave the music playing while I finish off these blobs. So here are all the blobs up close. I really enjoyed this challenge and I hope you enjoyed watching it too. But that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next Thursday. Bye for now!